Well, what is scarier than death? What is
Mm.
scarier than confronting grief? What is more uncomfortable than that?
Affection is such a wild ride. It is so much
Yeah,
fun.
it is fun.
Um, yeah, it is like this is one of those ones where I really didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
What excited you to be a part of it?
I mean, I loved the script. I loved the work of BT's that I had seen, his short film. I loved his passion for the movie and his vision. And we just first time we met, we sat, we chatted for like 3 hours, and it just felt, I just kind of felt pulled into the orbit of this by him and by the script and the character.
I mean, this is I would love to have been a fly on the wall for that conversation because without
Yeah.
giving any spoilers, it's going to be hard to talk about this film without giving spoilers.
It is going to be hard without spoilers. Yeah, I don't know if you want to give a spoiler warning or something on this, but it is hard to talk about it without spoilers. I mean, so when I first met with him, I didn't really. I don't know. Maybe you tell me if I'm spoiling something or if you need to cut something out. But like, I hadn't really. I didn't have a background of the science of any of it. You know what I mean? Sort of some of the real life stuff that is happening to move toward what gets explored in the movie. And after I started to get into that, after BT had already asked me to do the movie, I was like that much more
Mm.
excited because all like the movie blew my mind as like a science fiction horror movie,
Yeah.
but then the fact that people are literally actively doing this, you know what I mean? That like Martine Rothblatt has made a robot of her wife and uploaded her mind file from the cloud, and this was like 10 years ago or something, 5 years ago that happened. So I read her book Virtually Human, and I read Ray Kurzweil's book The Singularity is Nearer, and I mean, when you start just going down that rabbit hole, I mean, there are people that believe that the first person who will live to 1,000 has been born already. There are people who think that the rapid expansion in technology we've seen since basically like the birth of the internet to the birth of AI, that will happen in medicine as quickly, and we'll see, we'll go from your AOL dial up, which is like what my first experience with the internet was, like AOL Instant Messenger, you got to wait
Oh
it
yeah.
out and maybe it goes through, maybe it doesn't, to I'm at the post office asking ChatGPT, like, is this passport photo gonna make it through? You know what I mean? And they're like, we can measure it for you. Like, it kind of blows my mind when I think that that's been under 30 years. And so Ray Kurzweil's, his theory is that um same thing will happen in medicine. And so some of the things that you see in the movie are not only possible, but some people believe like a given at a certain point, depending on like, what gets regulated and what's allowed.
You're blowing my mind
I
because I
know
actually did
it's
not
mind
know
blowing.
that.
It's mind blowing. No, I mean the idea that maybe you'll be able to just grow a second body of yourself so that if your heart gives out, you're your own heart transplant, that you can effectively clone yourself, and then also that you can upload your consciousness to the cloud to create a mind file, and that you could use your DNA to make a new body and to upload your consciousness to your body. And then it just raises these questions of like, is that you? Is that, what is the real person at that point? um it's just mind blowing. It was a fascinating movie to do, for that reason, because I just spent the whole time researching this sort of stuff.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, I would like to ask you then too, since I mean, we're talking about the science behind the film,
Yeah,
but I'd like to know your thoughts on Bruce
yeah.
because is Bruce in your mind, is he a good man?
I think that Bruce certainly had the best of intentions when he set out. I
Mm.
think that Bruce was incapable of accepting life as it came to him, and it drove him mad. which is pretty common. You know what I mean? If you can't meet life as life comes at you, and you get caught up on a previous version of your life, it will make you crazy, you know? And I think that that is effectively what happened to Bruce. I think that he just was not able to accept this enormous life event. He had in his mind the capacity to reverse it, and he thought that he was doing right by his family. I really think he believes that until the end.
You know, one of the things I actually really appreciated about this film is that, you know, it's fun, it's sci-fi, there's twists,
Hmm.
there's surprises, but it's a really interesting conversation on the relationship between fear and grief.
Yes, totally,
I
completely.
was wondering in your mind, like maybe for Bruce, we talked a little bit, but in your mind, what is that relationship between fear and grief that's so devastating?
Well, what is scarier than death? You know, what is
Mm,
scarier than confronting grief? What is more uncomfortable than that? Something that really only time uh can heal. You know, there's only so much you can do, right? If something happens in your life where you are grieving the loss of a relationship, or the loss of a person, or the loss of a pet, or something, like, you can read, you can meditate, you can exercise, you can join a support group, you can get into therapy, you know, all these things that are essential. You know, you can walk in the woods, but really it's just time that you take to accept that, and that initial pain of that first day, that first 3 days, that first 90 days, that first year. um you know, grief to me is like half lives. Like, it's
mm.
never gone. You know, you can be 10 years out from something, 20 years out from something that really affected you, and you're always going to carry it with you. But these are the scars that kind of define our personality, you know what I mean? That make us who we are, that make us capable of holding others in their new grief, you know, if we choose to. So I think that he is refusing to accept, for whatever reason, that this thing is not reversible, because he is a pioneer in the space of exactly that, you know what I mean, of reversing it. So it's like someone like Martine Rothblatt cloning her wife. I mean, her wife is still alive when they made the robot version, but you know, what is that if the person has already passed?
Yeah, this is what I mean, you know, about a film like this is that a lot of times you see these things and there are clearer lines of good and evil. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this person is clearly trying to do this thing,
Yeah,
whatever it may be, and it's bad. But
right.
you don't get that sense with Bruce. You know, he's caught in the middle of these two areas,
Yeah.
and grief is the motivation for so much of that.
Yeah, I think that he has driven himself crazy effectively. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he has become so obsessed, uh and so incapable of letting go of this, that it's just hell or high water. He's gonna make it happen. And then when it really goes off the rails for him, um is when he well, I don't want to give anything away, but when his life becomes unmanageable.
Yeah. Honestly and truly, Joseph, you've given me like I really I enjoyed the film. It's fun.
Mm.
You've given me a whole new appreciation for it,
Oh,
and
thank you.
I genuinely appreciate the chance to chat with you about it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Steve. I'm so happy to hear that.